José Mourinho, good afternoon. My colleagues will speak about personal situations now. I want to speak about this game. Two important games, two teams are searching for the best momentum. So what is the kind of game that you expect tomorrow? The first 20 minutes, do you believe that it will be crucial tomorrow? More than first 20 minutes, I would say that I'm expecting two teams wanting to win. Of course, I do not believe that Chelsea will play for other than a victory. They play at home. They have lost the first game in this competition, and us, for matter of our cultural club, our ID that I wish to put into this team progressively, there's no team that can make us think other way. If we have to defend well, of course, we would have to in order to win the game. However, emotionally wise, the objective, the tactical approach is to try to win the game. They have lost in Germany. They have a calendar far easier than us. Our calendar is far harder. The points that we lost, it was an unexpected win. So now we need to chase points since we didn't win the first. So the 7 remaining games is harder. Chelsea in Stamford Bridge, Real Madrid at home, Newcastle away. Honestly, I don't know which game is easier or harder, or more likely or less likely to get points. So tomorrow we have to chase the points.
José Mourinho, boa tarde. Henrique Mateus, da TV da CNN.
Good afternoon. My question is, what do you value more in this coming back to home? Sounds like you are home because we see the walls, your pictures are everywhere with some of your titles that you did win with Chelsea. Another question about Benfica. When you speak about the European dimension, what is the approach that Benfica should have in order to win tomorrow? Well, having European dimension, it does not mean to think about winning a European Cup right now. We are far from that because the competition has just started. If we think about that, it's even going to be bad for us. Right now, we are in a stage that each point is fundamental. New formats of UEFA Champions League. We are not experienced with this new Champions League format. I know this format because last season I played the Europa League. It's a bit, I would say, odd because we have a table with so many teams that you don't play against. So you cannot control what the other teams are going to do. So each point is crucial in this competition. And you won't take back to say that if you said that the 3 points versus Karabakh, the first game, they would be the foundation, and then 1 point over there, 3 points over there, and we would get the qualification. Right now, we didn't win. We are in a tougher position. However, we must go to every game with the intention to try to get points. Home, yes, I'm feeling home. I already played here with Tottenham, with Man United, Inter Milan in Champions League, and during 90 minutes, not even myself, I thought in a second where I was, with who I was playing with. So, like they say, I'm not blue anymore. I'm red now, and I want to win. Hello. Quoting yourself, it's a grain of great responsibility and of course emotional because this is Champions League. Considering what you did work last couple of days, hours, do you feel that Benfica can reach something special tomorrow? Well, the work It's non-work, but this is what the player needed the most. Finally, they had 3 days between the games to rest. Since my arrival, the 3 games that we only had 2 days to recover. So when it starts to accumulate, and you did see last game versus Gil Vicente, we will struggle. Some players, they were extremely tired, physically wise. Our data analysis did show that the players were struggling. And finally, we had 3 days of recovery without work. The work, tactical organization for tomorrow is more passive than active, I would say, in the pitch. Today, I would like to have a training session in Seychelles. However, it was not possible because of the logistic matter. So today, I had 2 options for the training. One, open training. You're going to be there, and I cannot work tactic-wise. And the second option was only 50 minutes for you and open to the cameras, which was the way many years back. This means that the training would be open. So today's session, we want to activate without many tactic-wise work. So I believe that the players now, they have great concentration about what we analyze, what we spoke. This is what we did yesterday, we did today, and we'll carry on tomorrow in order to try to be the best shape way. If you ask me, I believe more in pitch work. You cannot compare. I believe more in the pitch work in terms of organization. We will have, and when you have organization principles, the players are very focused. I believe that we have good possibilities to argue the game against a wonderful team. Good afternoon, Nuno Matos. I'd like to insist in this question. I want you to speak about the feelings coming back to Stamford Bridge. I know that Henrique Mateus already asked previously. However, I want to insist in this question. I saw this morning press conference with Pedro Neto and mentioned that he was nearly about to sign for Chelsea, for Benfica. And even Mourinho, Pedro Neto said that he wanted to be coached by you one day. Would you like to have Pedro Neto in your Benfica team? Neto is one of the best wingers of the world. Roberto, a national team, is privileged because he has not just Pedro Neto, but has 3, 4, 5 players of similar profile in Benfica. We don't have that many. Of course, I would like to have Pedro Neto. Of course, he is playing in a different reality, much different than ours, financial-wise, specifically. So, yes, we need to forget this situation. So, what can I say? I can wish him the very best, injury-free. Those injuries last couple of years avoided him to have a more fast growth, and of course thank his words as well. Sensations to come here. It's not so deep because I live here. Whenever I'm in London, I go past this stadium almost every day. I know myself very well. Many times I played versus some of my previous teams, such as, like I said, I came here as a manager of 3 different teams. Benfica is my 4th team. Now come here as an away manager. So I will not feel any antagonism initially. This is what I think. And that would not be bad for me either. So I'm not feeling any antagonism. However, we do have different goals. I am able to isolate this context. Bruno Valero, RTP. Benfica has a bad past versus Chelsea. Never managed to win Chelsea. They even lost a European final versus Chelsea. Mourinho, since you always came here, only one day you were happy with Inter Milan. And in that season, you won the Champions League. So the manager is used to break records and make history. So tomorrow, do you believe that you can finally win with Benfica here in Stamford Bridge? Well, I don't think Benfica played here many times either. If we would say about 10 games, 9 defeats and a draw, well, now I would say 4 games max. Well, 4 max only. Europa League final after extra time. I don't look so much at this kind of stats. Normally, Portuguese teams, they don't have great results versus British teams because British teams are great. Let's be pragmatic. British teams are stronger, more intensity. In Portugal, our football, the game stops quite a lot. The momentum is not the same. Many teams, they prefer not to play during the game, not the same pace. So British teams are above Portuguese teams. Different matters. Of course, I do believe, nevertheless. Good afternoon, Mourinho. Luís Rocha, Rodrigues, 0-0. If you would be given a paper to sign, even though the calendar, considering the opponent, considering you have a game away versus Porto, would you sign for 0-0 or would you go and face the game? Maybe at the 28 minutes, I would sign 3 times. Well, depends on the game. I always say the following: the draw is excellent if the opponent is much better than you. If Chelsea dominates the game, if Chelsea puts us and make us play at the back in our end, well, the draw, I will take it, of course. However, the game did not start. When we're talking about, it's not about a knockout. We analyzed the first game. We know what we need right now. Right now, we need points. In this competition, any points in this kind of schedule of UEFA Champions League is important. At the moment, we are thinking about go to the game and play. José Mourinho, when you left Portuguese football, you left as European champion. Analyzing national football and even international, do you feel that today is harder for a Portuguese club, specifically Benfica, to be European champion or at least go further and far in this competition compared to 2 decades ago? Another question, does Luque Bacchio has more physical condition to play more minutes? He will play. He will play. He will be a starter tomorrow. I don't know how much he will be able to play. Last game he played about 60 minutes. We'll see tomorrow. We see the intensity of the game, what the game will demand from him. He will adapt to a different momentum, of course. I prefer him to start the game rather than put him as a sub and play 30 minutes. No, he will be a starter, and then we'll see. We'll see how much he can last. This format of UEFA Champions League is different. The first time that I played Champions League, I was assistant manager of Bobby Robson. It was the old format. The knockout was the beginning. Then we have the group stage in 4 teams. Then semi-final, just 1 game. In the home of the team that finished first of the group. So that semi-final was Porto versus Barcelona. And then was Milan versus Monaco in 1 hand only. Then we had the previous format, and now we have this current format. When I won this trophy, it was the format that lasted more. 4 teams in a group, then last 16, last 4, semi-final. Then we started to shift, and then the competition became larger to provide more teams a chance to be here. Now, this is the format that I'm still learning. It's a learning process. I'm still trying to meet. However, I understand your question in the sense that there's so much giants, European giants nowadays. Increasingly more is difficult for Portuguese teams. I would say Benfica is a giant, really a giant. I would say it's at the same level, historic-wise, socially-wise. They are even with best clubs of Europe, far better than some economic clubs that are stronger than Benfica nowadays. The dimension of Benfica, the history, the social dimension, the culture, and economic-wise is different. In today's world, economic-wise, European football is different, and there are clubs with far more money than Benfica. However, we can compete versus them in the game. So responding to you, if I would be happy with a draw, I don't know, we'll play, let's have fun, and then we'll try to win. Good afternoon. You're going to play away versus Porto. If Porto wins today, 4 points behind. And the first game of Champions League, you lost. So this is a decisive week for Benfica. And also Porto is just around the corner of the game. Are you going to rest some players for the game is Sunday? And what happened at Benfica Assembly? How are you going to be able to manage these changing rooms? Well, ask me this question tomorrow, okay?
For the English press, please. We start here.
Hi, Jose. Welcome back to London. If you look to your right, there's that picture of you famously holding up 3 fingers. To your left, there's a picture of you with your second Premier League trophy. There's also another picture here. 5 pictures in this big room. 3 of them are of you. I know you say that you're not a blue anymore, but will you always inside be a little bit blue?
Of course.
And is it like coming home?
Of course. Of course I will always be a blue. I'm part of their history, and they are part of my history. I helped them to become a bigger Chelsea, and they helped me to become a bigger Jose. When I say I'm not a blue, I hope everybody understands it, that I'm speaking about the job that I have to do, tomorrow. But in relation to these pictures, there are not many clubs that do this, because in many clubs it looks like there is a fear of what happened in the past, and there is a continuous transformation of pictures. Sometimes it looks like they want to delete people that made history in the clubs. I think this show that Chelsea is really a big club, because big clubs are also about principles.
Here in front, please.
Hey, Jose, welcome
Hello.
back. You once said that until another manager wins 4 Premier Leagues, Judas is #1 here, obviously. Do you still feel that way? And secondly, do you feel like this is a good time to be playing Chelsea, given there's quite a lot of negative results, pressure on Maresca, and what kind of job do you think he's done so far?
You know, Chelsea is a winning machine that had in the past 2 or 3 years a moment without trophies. But Chelsea won something before my time, and then we start winning, and then my team kept winning, and then transformation, new teams, new coaches, more trophies, European trophies, the biggest one of them, the Champions League. So Chelsea is a winning machine. You know, I'm the biggest one until somebody wins for. These are faits divers, but not really.
Hi, Jose. Great to see you back in London.
Thank you. Great to see you too.
We're in this room. You told everybody when you first arrived you were the special one, and you were, you still are.
I didn't say that.
Oh, what did you say then?
No, I didn't.
A special
Exactly.
one. Okay, you were a special one.
Exactly.
You were a special one. This place is special to you. So romantically, did you hope one day you'd be able to come back here and manage again at Chelsea? And because we never know what's around the corner, will you be treating tomorrow extra specially in case it's the last time you're on the touchline managing?
We never know. We never know. After 25 years, I was expecting to go back to Portugal, to the national team, not to Benfica. And I'm back to Benfica. So I don't have career projects. I don't try to think what can happen, what cannot happen. The important thing is you give everything where you are. You leave clubs like I normally do, without a word, close the chapter, no more words, think about the next. I left Fenerbahce 1 month ago without a word, and now I am in Benfica, and I am very, very happy. Big responsibility, even for a guy like me with so many years of age and years of football. Benfica is a huge responsibility for different reasons. Some of them I keep to myself, but to coach Benfica is a big responsibility. You know how I am. I just love it. And let's go tomorrow. Will be my Chelsea until start. Will be my Chelsea after the game, during the game. That's my Benfica, and the only thing that matters.
Hi, Jose. Last few times I've seen you here with Manchester United and Tottenham, you were booed by the supporters, but it seems a bit different now. Now you're a Benfica manager. No?
No. When something happened was that one member of Chelsea dugout insulted me, I react, and people thought I was reacting to Chelsea goal because the result was 1-1 and Chelsea scored in the last minute, and people thought that I was reacting bad against the goal. Was not the case. The coach was Sarri. He was absolutely top in the way he reacted to his assistant. Also Chelsea was top in the way they dealt with it. And I was also top because Chelsea wanted to sack the guy, and I told no, not because something that happened in a football match. So leave the man in peace. On the bench, everybody can do shit things, and leave the guy in peace. So in the end, nothing happened. I don't think Chelsea fans boo me. At least on the street, they are the ones that disturb me all the time for pictures and autographs. So.
Hi, Jose.
Hello, guys.
You just spoke about the fact that you helped Chelsea to become as big as they are, and they helped you to become as big as you are, and you helped each other. Therefore, in 2004, when you said yes to Chelsea, would you say that that was the best decision of your career as a coach? And also, just to add to that, if you were to have that chance now back then, if the project was now, would you make the same decision?
You know, at that time, I had different options, even to the Premier League. It was Chelsea. It was a happy marriage. And the reason I come the second time is because, of course, I was so happy the first time. And as I was saying, I'm important in their history, and they are very important in my history. I think it was a fantastic decision that I made. But to say was the best, I can identify my worst decisions, that I can identify clearly. But good decisions, I had many.
Jose, there's a case, there's an investigation going on at the moment about 74 charges. Some of that period covers the time that you were in charge. Would it be unfair to punish Chelsea, potentially strip them of titles that they won on the pitch for off-the-pitch offences?
Not Man City? No?
Well, they're investigating Chelsea, aren't they? Yeah. What's your view?
I have no idea about it. I have no idea about it. I have no idea of what the charges are. I will try to understand it.
Hi, Jose. Good to see you. You've spoken a few times about Chelsea's history. Now, under this ownership, it's a different kind of history. What do you make of this youth-led Chelsea project? And how do you think you would fare working in a model like Chelsea's?
Honestly, I don't know the model. I never studied that model. There was a set period where even myself from the outside, I was putting some question marks because it looked like Chelsea lost her identity as a club. But what happened in the last season put things back on track. You know, I think they gave trust to Enzo. He brought his ideas. He fitted well with the philosophy they want to give to the club. The Conference League is an easy competition for a big club to win it. I did it with Roma. It's quite an easy competition to win for a big club. And then the Club World Cup, people can say, I also say, the Champions League is much more important. But that badge means a lot. It's the first time a club wins the Club World Cup. So congratulations to them. And I think that gives them a base of trust, a base of confidence. Even at the supporters level, I feel it. I live 5 minutes ago from here. My son comes to the stadium almost every weekend. We know the Chelsea population, and the feeling is completely different. Was a period of disappointment, a period of doubts. In this moment is a period of happiness, a period of trust. So I think Chelsea is back on track.
Next questions.
Jose, this morning Joe Cole was speaking about you and compared you or spoke about you as Chelsea's Bill Shankly or Brian Clough. I wondered what you made of that. And also you've just said the Champions League is more important than the Club World Cup. Do you think this Chelsea team can win it?
Joe Cole always speaks good about me. You know, doesn't matter what I do, even if I do wrong, Joey is my Joey, JT is my JT, and some of the boys are my boys, and we always support each other. And I also say that Joe Cole is the best pundit in the history, because this is something that you build and stays forever. So very nice from Joe to say that Champions League is much more difficult to win than the Club World Cup. Of course it is, but Chelsea has the potential to do it. I think I don't see any reason to say no chance of doing it.
Finish there.
Thank you. Jose, they have asked you about the emotions about the Benfica, but I want to know, as a person, how has Jose Mourinho and his experience has lived the last 11, 12 days, coming back to Portugal, going to the Estadio do Dragão, 2 days later being appointed head coach of Benfica, and now returning to the competition elite of UEFA Champions League, just to face the club that made you bigger and you made bigger, just as Chelsea. How has Jose Mourinho as a person lived this last couple of weeks and tomorrow in the Champions League? Thank you.
As a person, nothing changed. And the fact that I am in Portugal and that the training ground is close to my house, nothing changed at all. I still sleep many times in the training ground, in the campus. I have so many things to do. I have no time to do. I even tell you something that for the Portuguese guys, maybe it's interesting. I only had one training session with the whole group together, because all the other training sessions is the group that played, the group that didn't play, the group that is in recovering, the group that is in development. So I don't have time for anything, just to try to prepare for matches and to play matches and to try to help the boys. Tomorrow we play, Wednesday we land in Lisbon. Will be the first day where I can tell the boys, go home and see you tomorrow. It will be the first time. So to come to clubs mid-season, I don't have big experience of it. It happened to me when I went to Benfica first time, when I went to Tottenham, only that. I don't have big experience on that, but it's very hard. It's very hard. So I don't even have time to think about myself. You can listen to my voice.
Obrigado, thank you.
Ciao, ciao.